Yeah, hello. This is Koiro with another installment in my Christmas calendar series. And I must say that this series, it's a bit harder than I really thought. Not because I can't find any more computers to film about, but I have to pick and choose what might be interesting for you to see. So I'm kind of picking out the systems that I think will be most interesting. And today it's this one. And this is the original Compaq Portable. And the same machine was actually launched in more than one edition, as there was several revisions of this. But the original model had 128K of memory and one or two 360K floppy disks and a built-in monitor. And I do have at least two different versions of this. I think this, and I also have a Compaq Plus. And if I remember right, the Plus is the same as this one, but with internal hard drive. So I will try to move the camera and give you a bit of a close-up of this computer. Yeah, when I say close-up of this computer, I try to be as close as I can, because this is a huge beast. So I'm not sure how much I will be able to show of this without without losing the picture. But if we take and turn this around, this is the bottom side, and here you have the feet that can raise this a bit higher. On this side you have the expansion bay, and as you can see, it's space here for 5 cards, and 2 of them is used originally from Compaq. It's this graphic cards and it's the printer card. So it's 3 available slots normally in this machine. This is the front, and this is the other side of the computer, and here you have the power supply. And you can see that this has been used, but this is a 220 volt power supply. It's wise to make sure of that. And the machine is made in USA, manufactured by Compaq Computer Corporation, and the model Compaq, not more. And it has a serial number that does not tell me anything. It's quite the large number. And on the top here you have the carrying handle, and this one, it's been used, but it's not cracked. But this is known to snap, so it's no good idea to carry this old machine by this strap. And if I do remember correctly, I have seen some videos of this computer on the internet where both the strap has been destroyed and that the keyboard has not been working. And I think there was some total redoing of the keyboard. It probably was the 8-bit guy, I think, who did a total membrane refit on this machine, and not the membrane but each individual key rubber. An 8-bit is of course a byte, so I tend to call him the byte guy. Yeah, and here you have a locking mechanism. Open or lock. Now it's open, and now it's open, and then the keyboard should fold out like so. And another issue with these computers is that the cable is breaking, but this cable looks totally fine. What does not look fine on this computer is that the knob here for adjusting the brightness on the screen, it's broken. It's actually just half the knob that's sitting again here. This machine has 2 floppy drives, and here is Compaq MS-DOS 2.2. And this drive is empty. And they also put a Dymo sticker here that tells us that this is drive 1. And when they did the nationalization of this computer to make it fit in the Norwegian market, they actually put some stickers on top of these keys. And that's why some of the keys looks totally white, as you can see, and some of the keys is yellowed. And that is because there is a plastic sticker on top of this. And this computer, it's not long ago that I actually bought this one. It was of a guy of internet that I think I paid 600 krona for this. And it's a real bargain, whatever condition this machine is in. As long as this does not burn down my bunker when we test this in a moment. There is really not much more to tell about this computer. Compaq actually was not the first company to ever produce an IBM compatible, but they are credited with being the first portable, and they also was one of the most compatible back in the day. And that's not just because they was the most compatible, it was because they quickly grew to have a large share of the market. So Lotus and WordPerfect and Aston Tate and all the other software houses back in the day, they actually made their software to be Compaq compatible as well as IBM. And I will find a power connector. Check that the switch is off, and it is. I will plug it in. No lightning strike so far. I can actually take the feet and raise this machine a tiny bit. Like so. And yeah, you might be able to see this is a CRT screen, so there will be some flickering. But this machine, remember, it has not been turned on as far as I know it, and I don't know if the previous user has turned this on in the last 20 years. So just hit the switch. This video is about the Compaq Portable, but also browses into the Plus version of this computer. And they're quite the similar computer. It's only some small changes in regard of extra equipment. And Compaq was originally founded with the sole purpose of making an upmarket clone of the IBM PC. So it was not something that they just did as a side thought, it was their only mission when they started the company. And it's said that Compaq, the name, comes from the first letter of compatibility and quality, but that might be something that was an afterthought after they made the name. And the company was a huge success from the start and went on to become the youngest company ever to enter the Fortune 500 list. And I do think they also was the first or the fastest company to reach 1 billion in revenue. And this is from the original sales brochure of the company, and they do have some rather bold statements in this brochure, but from their sales figures it probably worked. And we can see we have highlighted some of the points here, but in addition to that, I would like to say that including a competitor's brand name in their own advert is a rather bold happening. And this is made with the sole purpose of establishing the fact that everything is IBM compatible with the Compaq. And they also stated that their dual graphics solution is much better than IBM's, because on an IBM you have to choose either a CGA or MDA monitor on graphics card, but the CGA graphics on the Compaq handles both graphics modes. So all their advertising is based on we do the same, only better than IBM. And in most cases they were right. But due to Compaq's steep increase in revenue and sales, they also defined
the compatible market, because if you had a program, it was not enough to be IBM compatible, you also had to be Compaq compatible. So when WordPerfect and Aston Tate and all the others made their programs, they made sure that they would work on the Compaq as well. And the machine is nothing out of the ordinary. It's an 8088 4.77 MHz and 128 kilobyte RAM, so all the same specification as the original IBM PC. And it ran on a special version of DOS, that was MS-DOS 1.12. That was an OEM version of DOS. And the display is a 9-inch green phosphor CRT, that's CGA and MDA compatible. And there are 3 available 8-bit XT ISA expansion slots, although this was before the standard ISA was made, so it's in this case IBM or PC compatible expansion slots. And it weighs about 13 kilos and was launched in March in 1983. And the Plus version is all the same as the normal Compaq Portable, but one floppy is replaced by a 10 megabyte hard drive, and it has a hard drive controller occupying one of the 3 available slots. And it got a new badge in gold rather than silver as on the original machine, and it was equipped with the DOS 2.02, also a Compaq OEM version to support the hard drive. And this was a move from Compaq to sell hard drive versions, as they saw that their dealers was doing this upgrade for the customer. And there also is a 286 that uses the same chassis. This has a very different mainboard layout, but most of the metal parts in the chassis are the same. And even though this was the golden area of service manuals, in some cases it's not so golden at all. And of course, Compaq, that got their business from reverse engineering and looking into IBM's schematics, was not the one to publish their own schematics available for the competition. And the maintenance and service guide is very true and very in-depth, but there is no schematics whatsoever in this guide, and there are some parts of schematics out on the web, but I have not found some complete schematics for any part of this computer or the expansion cards that's contained within. And that is a sore part for me, as the schematics and service manual is my first go-through step before I start any maintenance on any device.
And I can hear the fan spinning up. I do hear some high frequency pitch. I don't know if it's the screen. I don't know when the light should be on. Okay. There. I will lower the camera and see if I can film off the CRT. Yeah, I don't know if you can see this, but this actually current date is the 1st in 1980, and enter new date. And at least the enter key is working. I can make a dir. And he's actually reading my floppy disk. That is really cool to see. You have to remember that we have tried now 4 IBM computers and none of them has been working, but this Compaq, it booted at once. It didn't even ask for something, but I don't know if this machine has been maintained or if it's just the way things are with this machine that they are more reliable. And this was DOS 2.2. I do have some other floppy disks. I can try to turn off the overhead light, then this will be much more clear. DOS 2.2 it's stated. I can try to do a ver. Yes, it's Compaq Personal Computer MS-DOS version 2.02. That's quite the early version of DOS. And I do have some floppy disks. I don't exactly remember if these come with this computer, but I had them stored in a place close by, so maybe they did, maybe they did not.
But this did not come with this computer. This is HD floppy disks. I will see, I have another box. Some of my old discs from back in the day. WordPerfect. And these floppies are rainbow color, and they actually called Parrot. I think it's because of the color. Here it's stated div and it's marked with Koiro. So it's my disc from back in the day. And this also is a DOS disk, I think. Maybe it's DOS 2. It has a HD Park and some other stuff. Probably some utility disk. But at least I can establish that both of the floppies in this machine actually work. An original disk. This was a Norwegian company that tried to make a clone of WordPerfect back in the day. Super word processing from Viking Research. This is a free version of Super WordPress and can be used freely and be copied. And they say that this version is not the same as the commercial edition, and this version has some limitation. And this is an instruction how I install this on a hard drive. I can try one more of my unmarked disk, because this was not marked at all. And this is actually the Procom program to make modem communications and terminal communications. A yellow disk. And this actually has a speed utility. This is a utility to change the speeds on one particular computer, and maybe it's some Amstrad thing, or maybe some other things. I'm really not sure. And this is the last disk in this package. I'm not sure what this is. Oh, it's WordPerfect Executive Installation version 1. Nope, I'm going just to push escape on this. Yes, and that was a really nice performance from my original Compaq computer. And I did not get any date code, then I have to take it apart. That has to be for another installment with this computer, but I do have to say that I'm very pleased that it actually works, and I'm quite surprised. But it's a nice surprise, and things we want for Christmas. So that will be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Please hit subscribe, make a comment, hit like, so you will be reminded of the next video that hopefully will be tomorrow. Hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.